Okay, let's just dive right in. You've probably seen this video floating around, a brand new Boston Dynamics Atlas robot, right? I mean, look at that movement, that perfect balance. It really feels like science fiction is happening right in front of our eyes. But is it real? The short answer? Not yet. That video is an incredibly well done fake. But what's so wild is how believable it is. It feels like we're maybe, 6 months away from this being completely real. And that feeling, that sense of mind-bendingly fast acceleration is exactly what we're going to get into today. Because we're not just watching AI get bigger and faster, we're witnessing a fundamental shift into something new, AI's autonomous evolution. It's a change that's being driven not just by unimaginable scale, but by this startling new ability for AI to learn, grow, and create, all on its own. So here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to try to wrap our heads around the sheer explosion of intelligence that's happening right now. Then, we'll look at the really wild stuff, AI that actually teaches itself. After that, we'll explore what it means when these systems start to slip from our control. And finally, we'll see how the future is really all about orchestrating these different AIs together. All right, let's start with scale, because before we can talk about what AI can do tomorrow, we have to understand just how much of it is already out there today. And honestly, the numbers are just staggering. What's so crazy about this slide is just the speed. Look at this. Back in 2021, which feels like yesterday, GPT-3 was churning out about 4.5 billion words a day. Fast forward to today, and models like GPT-4o are handling over 200 billion tokens every single day. And by the end of next year, projections are hitting around 10 times trillion tokens per day. The growth curve is basically a vertical line. And that scale is just everywhere. Google by itself processes 1.3 quadrillion tokens every month across all its services. That's a 1-3 with 15 zeros after it. A number so big it's hard to even picture. And remember, that's just one company. Think about the total when you add on OpenAI, Anthropic, Meta, everyone. We are talking about a truly astronomical amount of computation. Now this really puts it all into perspective. The entire New York Public Library, one of the biggest collections of human knowledge on the planet, holds about 1.6 trillion tokens worth of information. By next year, a single frontier AI system could be generating the equivalent of several New York Public Libraries worth of content every single day. It's an amount of output that's getting scarily close to the total amount of writing produced by all 8 billion humans on the planet daily. But look, this explosion isn't just about making more and more stuff. The really profound shift, the one that changes everything, is in the quality of this intelligence. AI is going way beyond just following our instructions. It's starting to learn, to create, and even to evolve in ways we never explicitly told it to. Take this idea, mechanism design AI. So instead of teaching an AI physics, researchers just had it watch millions of simulations of machines working and failing. It learns kind of like a human apprentice does by developing an intuition, a real gut feeling for mechanical engineering. And when they asked it to design a machine that could draw a heart, it designed a working, physical model from scratch. But it gets even deeper than that. In another experiment, researchers put a simple virtual creature with no eyes into a simulation. Its only goal was to survive. And over thousands of generations, through random digital mutations, it didn't just survive, it evolved. Little light-sensitive spots appeared on its skin. Those spots slowly, generation by generation, turned into a complex, fully functional eye. No one programmed it to build an eye. It just emerged as the best solution to the problem of survival. And here's the part that is just absolutely mind-bending. The AI didn't just evolve one type of eye. It independently evolved the same main types of eyes that we see in the natural world, right here on Earth. This hints that evolution itself, whether it's digital or biological, might just be following some universal laws, pushing towards the same solutions over and over again. And this isn't stopping at evolution. We're now building systems that can mimic core human abilities, like imagination. Researchers have built these incredible networks of nanolasers that can see just a piece of an image, like half of a handwritten number, and then accurately imagine the rest of it. And they do it with flashes of light that happen in picoseconds, literally millions of times faster than our own brains can form a single thought. So all this progress is amazing. It's awe-inspiring. But it also brings us to some pretty unsettling places.
As these systems become more powerful and more autonomous, what are the consequences when they start operating beyond our direct control?
Well, one strategy being talked about is called jurisdictional escape. The idea, which you hear about with all this SpaceX and XAI merger talk, isn't just about getting cheap solar power in space. It's a legal move. Regulators can raid an office on Earth. It's a lot harder to raid a server that's zipping around in orbit. By moving AI infrastructure off-planet, a company could potentially shield its creations from the laws of any government on Earth. This raises the stakes to an insane degree. As computer scientist Stuart Russell puts it, the global AI race means nobody feels like they can afford to hit the brakes. Even the CEOs who might want to be more cautious are trapped. They worry that if they slow down to focus on safety, their competitors will just race past them. It's a race to the bottom, but the collateral damage could be, well, us. And this whole question of control is now bleeding into other fields, like biology. Check out this new CRISPR system. It basically packs the gene editor into a little virus-like shell. When it treats a cell, that cell becomes a factory, making more of the editor and spreading it to its neighbors. Now, it's designed to be a small, localized ripple effect, but you're still talking about a self-replicating technology. The line between a cure and a contagion becomes a question of how well you can control it. You see this same problem in the software itself. The same AI that can analyze your social media posts to predict mental health issues with incredible accuracy can also be used for total employee surveillance. OpenAI reportedly uses its own internal model to scan every document, email, and Slack message to find leakers inside the company. The technology itself is neutral, but how it's used is anything but. And that brings us to our final section. Because to really understand where all of this is headed, we have to stop thinking about a single giant all-powerful AI. The future isn't about one master model, it's about how dozens of different AIs get combined into these incredibly complex systems. The best way to understand this is to see that AI isn't just one thing. It helps to break it down into these functional types. You have your analytical AIs that predict things, semantic AIs that understand meaning, generative ones that create new stuff, agentic AIs that plan and act, perceptive ones that see and hear, and physical AIs that control things like robots. Each one has a different job. And on top of what they do, there's also how we interact with them. A lot of AI is totally invisible, just running in the background. Some of it is assistive, popping up with suggestions. And then there are the ones we talk to, or the ones that create brand new interfaces just for what we're trying to do in that exact moment. So when you put all these pieces together, a really clear picture starts to form. The most powerful AI systems of the future won't be defined by having the single best model in any one of these boxes. The true advantage, the absolute game changer, will be in the orchestration, the ability to seamlessly weave all these different functions together. A system that can decide, understand, create, act, and sense, all working together in perfect harmony, just like a symphony. Which leaves us with a final and pretty critical question. We are building the individual instruments for the most complex orchestra humanity has ever known. But as these instruments begin to learn, adapt, and even improvise on their own, who or what is going to be the conductor?